Hello, my name's Peter and today I'm going to be doing a video on some of my indoor banana plants. So this first one here is a dwarf Cavendish banana. I've had some people have asked me if I grow Cavendish bananas because I've not shown any I don't think I've shown any actually, except in the last video that may have gone out by the time this one's already gone out. But yeah, I do grow some Cavendish cultivars. This one is my current largest dwarf Cavendish banana plant. So I got this, I think it was back in the end of last year. Didn't do too well because I got it at a very bad time really, just before winter. I think it was the end of autumn. So it ended up dying back, and then it pushed out two pups. This was one of them. The main plant died, but I took the pups off it, and this became one of them, and the one that I have outside was the other. There was also another plant which also had a pup on, so I ended up with three in the end. So yeah, this one I potted it up into this 3 litre pot probably just over a month ago, and since then it has grown a lot better than the other one. I subsequently put the other one outside on the patio, which you may have seen in my outdoor banana plant update video. So yeah, that one I only planted the other week, so it hasn't had as much time to settle into its container. And this one obviously has also been growing inside where it's a lot warmer most of the time. The thing with Cavendish bananas is they really do slow down when the temperatures drop below about 15 degrees Celsius, something like that. 14-15 degrees Celsius. They will still grow sometimes as long as it's above 10 degrees. If it goes below 10 degrees Celsius, they really won't grow much at all. Yeah, it's a very cold sensitive plant, whereas some of the other edibles like the Oronocos, the Rajapuri, the Manzano and a few of the others, they're not quite as cold sensitive. They will slow down significantly when the temperatures go below 14-15 degrees as well, but they will continue growing a little bit more than the Cavendish types. So yeah, I'm just going to go through a few of the other plants that I have as well. This is, like I said, it's currently the largest Cavendish type that I have. It's not too big, but it has grown very fast since I planted it in this pot and put it in the bathroom. I think it really likes the humidity that it gets in here. This is a Musella Lasiocarpa. I also have one outside. I did have both of them in here originally. I decided to put the other one outside and I left this one inside. It has been growing quite well. It's just because it's leaning a bit. I left it too long and it was growing towards the window, so I turned it round. But unfortunately, I don't think there's any way of straightening it up anymore. I could try and repot the plant at an angle. It's not the end of the world. Hopefully it'll eventually look a little bit better when I repot it. This, by the way, doesn't actually produce any edible bananas. It's just an ornamental relative of the bananas. So yeah, it's a close relative of the Musa bananas. So in this other room I have a few different banana plants. I'm not going to spend too much time on each of them because there's quite a few to go through. But yeah, these first three here and that little tiny one in the back, these are all super dwarf Cavendish banana plants. This was actually the first banana plant, or the descendants of the first banana plant I ever got. So that the original plant I think is featured on my channel probably around 10 years ago when I got it. And this is just one of the, or three of the plants that that have descended from that original plant. They don't tend to do very well over winter, which is why I end up starting them again effectively every year. There's another one at my parents' house which I left there, and that has been performing a little bit better. It's larger than these ones. You might have noticed these little sachets around some of my indoor plants. These are a type of predator mite which will actually eat and destroy all the spider mites. So yeah, it's this particular, I may do a separate video on it, but yeah, the idea is that they'll prevent any spider mite infestations on your plants. This one here is another dwarf Orinoco. This one I've had for quite a while, but it always ends up dying back over winter, and I ended up having to repot it this year in a more free draining mix. So it has started to do better since then, but yeah, the plant hasn't got very big inside. But I did notice it did, before I went on holiday about a month ago, it did start to push a little pup, which is the first time it's done that since I got this plant. Probably about, I think it was around 2018, something like that. But as I said, it has died back several times since then, which is why it hasn't got very large. Here is a blue Java or ice cream banana. This one has looked a lot better than this. Last year it did a lot better, but since again over winter it ended up with root rot, so I had to replant it into a very heavy perlite mix, and it did regrow all its roots, so I managed to prevent it from rotting off. But yeah, it has grown this new leaf recently, but yeah, it only has a few leaves on it, and this one is bent over. It's getting ready to be removed soon. Over here is another dwarf Brazilian. So this is like the one I have outside. You can see it does look a lot greener from the one outside, but it's in a lot smaller container indoors. Do need to repot all of these banana plants indoors. They're all in way too small containers. I just don't really have much space or time to be repotting them all at the moment. But yeah, this dwarf Brazilian is looking fairly healthy at the moment. At the front here I have a few seed grown bananas, which I will be doing a separate video about, so I won't go into detail about those. I'll save that for a separate video. This is a Sumatrana crossed with a Grand Nain, apparently. So this, for those that don't know, the Sumatrana is also known as a blood banana, and it has these blood markings on the leaves. It keeps these blood markings from when it starts to get them all the way up to maturity, whereas some of the other bananas usually lose this coloration when the leaves get more mature. But yeah, this is a fairly recent purchase, and it is a purely ornamental plant. There is supposedly it can produce edible fruits because it's been crossed with a Grand Nain, but they're likely going to be seedy. I don't know too much about the fruit from this particular plant because there's not much information that I can find about it. But yeah, I thought it would be an interesting one, purely for the leaves more than anything else. It also gets a very nice red coloration to the pseudostem, I've noticed, which I quite like as well. So in this other room I have another grandnane. If you watch my previous video, I did one where I showed one of my grandnanes that I have outside. This I got at the same time as that, and I've left this one indoors. It's not growing in the best light, as this window's mostly east facing, sort of northeast-ish facing, so yeah, it doesn't get a whole lot of light, but it does seem to be growing quite well considering. Yeah, I'd say this is about the same size as the one that I've got outside. Although, because it is warmer indoors, it is pushing leaves out a little bit faster. Over here, I have two very rare banana plants. This is the Gros Michel banana. Both of these plants here. These are what, if you've done any research into the banana cultivation history, this was actually one of the first, sort of the main cultivated banana that used to be, I think it used to be in sort of the 40s and 50s. This was the plant that they used to produce the Gros Michel fruit, which apparently tastes a lot better than the Cavendish that we have today. But unfortunately, due to Panama disease, it wiped it out of cultivation in most parts of the world. There's a few pockets, I think mostly in Africa, where it did survive, and it is still grown in smaller communities as well, in other tropical locations where the Panama disease didn't quite reach. But there is another strain of the Panama disease which does threaten the Cavendish banana. So the grandnane, which is a Cavendish type, is affected by this other strain. I think it's tropical race 4, where this one, the Gros Michel, was affected by tropical race 1, I believe. But yeah, it's a very similar looking to the Cavendish. It does get these dark blood stains on the leaves when they're young, and as the plant matures, it loses that coloration. I think this is the tall Gros Michel. There are types of dwarf Gros Michels, but they're also very, very hard to get hold of. So yeah, this is probably the rarest banana plant that I have. Some of the other edibles I have are also very rare, in the UK at least. So yeah, these are my sort of prized plants at the moment. Again, they do need to be repotted like all of my plants, but I'll try and get them repotted fairly soon. Although I don't like doing it towards the end of summer, because they do stop growing by sort of October time, and then I've just got to keep them very dry to prevent root rot over winter. So I recently got some more dwarf Cavendish and grandname banana plants. So these are 4 dwarf Cavendish plants here. They were very reasonably priced, which is why I got them on offer as well. So yeah, I got 4 of each. These are the grandname on this side. 2 of these I've actually produced pups already. I think this one here has a little pup, and I think this one at this other side as well also has a little pup growing as well. So I thought that was I'm going to do some sort of experimentation with some of these plants. I already have a couple outdoors, which is already a little bit of an experiment, but with these ones I'm going to try and do some different propagation techniques on them. So I need to get them a little bit larger first. So yeah, I may do a separate video on some of the potential propagation experiments that I might be doing with some of these plants. And yeah, I thought I'd try it on the Dwarf Cavendish and Grand Nain plants, as they were pretty affordable to get, and they also produce pups very easily as well, so I should be able to get some more plants from these relatively easily, compared to the rarer varieties that I have anyway, where they don't tend to produce pups as easily. So yeah, that's all for this video. Thank you for watching. Please don't forget to like and subscribe and ring the notification bell so you can be notified when I release new videos in the future. And I'll see you in the next video.